Hi, I'm Stella and welcome to my channel 30 Books, where I talk about Australian books and Australian writers to inspire you to run out and buy or borrow an Australian book. And speaking of Australian writers, here's one right here. I'm talking to Kate Hazel Hall about her novel. Tell us about your novel.
My novel is called From Darkness. It is a love story between two girls, Ari, who's 16, and Alex, her childhood friend, who she lost tragically when they were children. Alex drowned in the sea, and she went down to the underworld, and she comes back to save Ari when Ari herself is on the brink of death. But that, of course, has terrible consequences. You can't mess with the laws of life and death like that. And so the book is about how the girls have to fight the fates and the laws of life and death to stay together and save the world from darkness.
It's a young adult book?
It is a young adult novel, yes.
And how did you create this world?
I spent a lot of time walking around in the pine plantations down near Labour's Hill and Johanna, which is in the southwest coast of Australia in Gadabinad country. And in those spooky pine plantations, I imagined what might happen if there was a sinkhole to the underworld and what you might find if you entered such a sinkhole.
Now, when I go for a walk in the forest, I generally don't think about those sort of things. So what sort of mindset is this a common thing that you've always done?
Probably not healthy, is it? But
right.
No, I think it comes from reading a lot of fantasy fiction as a kid and a lot of myth.
Okay, that's great, because I've segued in that. So who inspired you? What sort of books inspired you to write this one?
One of my favourite authors of all time is the late, great Margaret Mahy. And in particular, a book called The Changeover, where a girl has to become a witch in order to save her little brother from a demon.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So what's the message there, girls? Become a witch.
Well, I mean, I think we all should anyway.
Yeah.
But in doing so, she sort of taps into the power that she already had, because she's sort of a halfway. She's like a sensitive. She exists in a space between the ordinary and the extraordinary, and all she has to do is really tap into that part of herself to access that power.
What's one of the most memorable characters you've read in a book?
Ooh, let me see. Do you know, I'm going to say Tippy Chan from the Nancy's.
And who wrote the Nancy's?
R.W.R. McDonald, who happens to be standing just over there.
Yes.
Yes.
So what makes her memorable? What makes it?
When they just feel like they're so alive that you could have a conversation with them. When you can picture the character in your head, when and in the case of Tippy, you know, I just want to give her a big hug. You know, at various points throughout.
She's
the
a
book.
girl that needs a big hug. Really?
Well, she's got a lot of support,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. And did you always want to be a writer?
I wanted to be an actor, an artist, a writer, and a musician, and then eventually I had to pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you choose to be a writer?
Luck.
Luck. Dumb luck or good luck?
Pretty much dumb luck.
So is this your first book?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're sort of venturing out into the world of, you know, literary festivals.
Yes, this
Are
is
you
my
liking
first
it?
one.
Do you feel like you've come home?
I do.
Oh.
I do. And especially at Blarney Books and Art, which is, you know, as one of their young readers said, feels like walking into a rainbow. I think it's like a rainbow hug, hung with fairy lights. And it does feel like home.
Oh, it's lovely. Kate Hazel Hall, and your book, From Darkness, a young adult novel, but for?
I reckon upper, so I'd say, it says 12 and up. I think it's a bit scary for 12. I'd go 14 and up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Stella.